MyFlashStore.net, the internet's #1 beat marketplace.
My name is Tone Jones. I'm a music producer from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a husband, I'm a father, and I just love life. I'm passionate about music. Well, it's crazy. I actually started playing piano by ear when I was 3 years old. I was sitting in front of the TV with the little toy keyboard, and a commercial came on, and my parents said I started playing the melody just out of nowhere. And my father and mother was surprised, of course. So my father started nurturing the gift. He's a musician, so he started nurturing the gift, and just kind of went from there. I've been doing it ever since. It just depends. Like, usually I'm the type of person, I create from emotions. So whatever I create, it depends on how I'm really feeling at the time. So if I'm feeling hype, I'll make something hype. If I'm feeling sad, then I'll make something more emotional. It's just, that's usually how I started. Depends on how I feel. And then from there, I usually go to the piano, because that's what I started on. And I just play around until I come up with something, and it just kind of progresses from there. That's the main thing that really inspires me, is how I'm feeling, or it could be a situation that I'm going through personally, or it could be something that somebody else is going through. I've written a lot from, things of that nature as well, things that somebody else is going through, or it could be seeing something outside. It's like I get inspired by weird things. I might see like a worm outside and get inspired. I'm strange like that, but it just depends. I would probably say machine. Like, I've been using a lot of different things over the years, but it's something about machine that helps me get my ideas out quickly, more quicker than other programs. Like, I'll usually end in Logic or, other things, but I always start a machine now, because it's just so easy to put the idea down and get right to it than fiddling with a lot of different stuff. So that's probably my most important piece of equipment right now. Well, a lot of people think that I probably sit around making beats and eating Doritos all day. That's definitely not the case. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. Like, I'm responding to emails all day. I'm sending orders all day. Sometimes I do manual orders besides my flash store, so I have to send those manually. Customer service is a lot in and of itself, because sometimes people don't understand how to buy beats, or they may have gotten them and they don't understand how to download them. So that's really the main part of it. I spend probably about at least 60-70% of the time doing the business side with customer service. And then the other time is the creation part. But besides that, it's mostly family time. So it's like trying to get that perfect divide of time, to where I'm not neglecting anything. So music is actually the smallest portion of it all, actually. Really, the way I stay motivated is my family, to be honest with you. I think, like, when it comes to this stuff, a lot of people do it for money, and money's great. It's a great tool. We need it. But you got to find something bigger than that to stay inspired, because money's will let you down sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So family is my main inspiration of why I do what I do. Like, I love being able to provide for them. I love being able to, my daughter comes in here sometimes, and she messes with the equipment and stuff like that. So that's pretty much my main inspiration. I like to see them, happy seeing what I'm doing. So
Jones.
I think the main key to success is being yourself. And I know that's cliche, but I really think that's what it is, because, it's a thing now where, since software is so affordable, everybody's producing now, everybody's getting into it. So if you really want to set yourself apart, you gotta be yourself. You gotta find what's unique about you and really drive that home. And I think that's the main thing. It's just really being who you are and not looking to the left and the right too much. Just be you and be confident in it, I would say this. I think the biggest one is, I was living in another state. I was actually working as a bill collector, and I hated it. And my life I just was not liking where I was in life. And I wanted to do music. So I would be at work looking at music magazines, and they would take them away. You can't look at magazines while you're at work. So it's like, okay. So I was like, I got to make a game plan. So I sat down and I made a game plan, and it required moving to another state. So like getting the courage to move somewhere else, and like people not want me to move, and like people talking about me, I think that was the biggest part, because as soon as I moved, it's like everything was just rapidly taking off. But if I wouldn't have made that decision to move, like I would not be giving this interview right now. I'm pretty sure. Like I'll probably be somewhere doing something I don't want to do, and I never would have tried to pursue my dreams at all. So I think that was probably the most pivotal moment, is me getting the courage to move somewhere else and to try something different and to go somewhere where I don't know anything. I didn't have a job or anything. I just went. To be honest with you, I didn't have any money, so internet didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? I had a computer, I had some, studio equipment, but I had no internet access. I didn't know nothing about selling beats online, any of that stuff. So the place that I was in, there's not a lot of job opportunities. And, it's a more closed-minded area that I was in. Everybody was like, you got to go work at a factory until you die. And that's not me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go somewhere and do something that I don't want to do for the rest of my life and then die unfulfilled. So it's like I had a choice between doing something like that or moving. I was like, okay, I'm going. So that's pretty much why I had to move, because the opportunities in Atlanta, like the music scene is ridiculous. And the entrepreneur scene is ridiculous. So it just inspired me just being here, and the first time I came, I was like, okay, I know this is where I'm going to be. I don't know how I'm going to get there. This is where I'm going to be. So see, the things that I say, they're cliche and people overlook them, but they're so important. Like, I believe it's being transparent. Like I'm on Facebook all the time, and I'm always giving people keys to life and points and different experiences that I've had. And I think it's just being transparent and always encouraging people and things that sort. Just being a people person is what makes you be able to be on that level, besides the talent, because the talent is one part of it. Like, talent alone is not going to get you anywhere. Like, you got to be able to be a people person. You got to be able to know the business side. Like, I think all of those things playing in the part, and it's just my whole mindset. Like, I got this thing I say called quality or nothing. And that's how I feel in my life. Like, if it's not quality, if it's not where it needs to be, then I don't want to do it at all. So I think my customers appreciate that, because they know I'm putting my heart and my time into what I'm doing. It's not just something I'm doing just to get their money. Like, I'm really passionate about this. So, like I said, I moved to Atlanta. I was with this group. We're a production group. We had tried to do the whole label and music industry thing, and went through a whole bunch of craziness with that, and really got to see what it's about. So, I pretty much gave up on music for a little while. And I was working at this courier job, and it wasn't paying the bills, and it was crazy. So I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna try to get this music thing one more shot. So I just started posting my music on SoundCloud initially. And people heard my music. I wasn't trying to sell it, I was just sharing it. And then people was like, okay, how much is this? I'm like, okay. So it kind of went from there. It's like, okay, I started selling beats off SoundCloud, and after a while, that I was able to make more through that than my job, which I wasn't really making a lot, so that wasn't hard, so it just kind of built up from there. And eventually I said, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave this job and step out on faith and go hard with it. So it pretty much was that. SoundCloud was the basis of where everything started, and I sold beats on SoundCloud that whole first year pretty much. So I already kind of had a little customer base in a sense. And I got on my Flash store in 2012. And like, that's when the process to buy beats was made a million times easier. So like, my profits tripled that first year compared to what I was doing on SoundCloud. So it's kind of like it's like a snowball effect. People hear my music, they tell somebody else, and they tell somebody else. And that's the main way I usually get my sales. It's just from word of mouth and people loving the music, Well, I'll do a lot of talking to people on emails. I also have I use a email platform to send out a weekly email. Excuse me. So I'll send out, tips, artist tips. I'll send out encouragement. So that's kind of like my way to talking to everybody as far as my customers. And, of course, sometimes I talk to people individually. And then I also talk to people, like through my post or, videos or however it is. Like, I'm always inspiring people, because that's really, truly my heart. And I think that's kind of like what keeps people wanting to deal with me, because they know, like, I have integrity. Like, I'm not just some scammer online. Like, this ain't no little side hustle for me. Like, I really love it. And it's just a character thing. I think that's really what it is, Probably, there's so much stuff, but consistency would be a big thing. And that's something I definitely struggle with sometimes because, like I said, I have a family. So, it's that time balance thing. Sometimes you just can't put the time in the music like you want to. But, especially at the beginning, and especially to anybody who like doesn't have a family and they're by themselves, like there's no excuse. Like you need to be on it, like consistently putting out music, and, and backing that up with good customer service and things of those sorts. So definitely consistency is a big thing. Well, I was selling beats on SoundCloud. But the way I was doing it was not right. Like I would sit in the studio every day and come up with about 2 to 3 concepts, and they would be almost finished, but probably around getting into the second chorus, and then it would fade out. So I would put that up, and then when somebody wanted to buy it, then I would finish it. The problem is, as the time went on and the snowball built up, like I started getting so much business that it was hard to finish. Then people started getting upset because he wasn't getting their stuff on time. And it just turned into a nightmare. I lost a lot of customers, got kicked out of an apartment. Like, it was bad. So I was like, okay, I got to find something. And I'd heard about my flash store, but I had never really looked into it like that. So around the beginning of 2012, I was like, okay, I got to try something different. And I found it. And, I was like, oh, man, this is great. So I can put the stuff on here. People can make their orders and get it right away. And I don't have to do this whole thing. I was like, okay, cool. I just got to start finishing these tracks ahead of time. And it just works out. So, the first email I sent out after I utilized my flash store, it was like crazy. Like I had never gotten that many sales that quick. And, that was actually the first time I started leasing as well, too, because I was selling just exclusives before. And it was kind of bad because sometimes you get in a rut financially. $20 exclusives, and it's like, I hate this. But when I was able to do the leasing, then that helped things out a lot. And my flash store, I really appreciate you guys. I needed this service so bad, and it's been the foundation of what got me to where I am now. My flash store allowed me to put that time into other things that I would have been using to send, orders of, finished music or trying to do contracts. Like, since it's all compact and it's automated, it freed up my time. And like I said, being a family man, time is slim anyway. So like that really helped me out a lot. And like from there, just and all the features that y'all been adding on over the years, each new feature has really helped me out. So like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I couldn't do this without my flash store. Like, I need the service. Well, like right now, I'm still on my flash store. Like, I don't see myself ever leaving, but like, I'm just pretty much doing that. I'm growing my beat business more. And then in addition to that, like I got some things coming up for producers. I don't want to put it out there yet, but I got something else that I'm working on for producers, some different things that help them out and stuff like that. And people have been loving my hook track, so I might put out a EP or something. You never know. But it's pretty much like I'm just trying to expand what I'm doing with music and my gifts and, using more of my gifts in other ways to help people as well. So my whole thing is to help people make better beats. So, it'll be mostly like, I'll just say it's going to be like musical instruments and things of that sort. Like I've been playing piano since 3, like I said. So my musicianship is a lot more advanced for my age, you know what I'm saying? So I want to make things that producers can use in their productions, It's meant a lot for me because like I said, like I've always wanted to do music in some capacity. At first I wanted to be like the guy that's producing for all these huge artists and driving the Bentleys and whatever other things you think about when you're younger. But, as I got older in life and, I experienced a few things and I got a family, it's like being able to be home with my family and still make an awesome income, like that's everything to me. So I love the online beat industry for that because it allows me to stay home with my family. Like we get to go on trips. We get to spend a lot of time together. I get to help people. I just like how it's allowed me to free up my life. Like I'm not tied down to any contracts. I don't have to, I'm not a slave to anything. Like what I do is mine. My schedule is mine. Like that's what I love about it. And I don't want to give that up for anything. I'll never give that up. For younger people, who may be on their own and have that type of time, yeah, go out there and, definitely try to, get those placements or, fly wherever. But the thing about family is, like, you got to get that time in. Like, when the time is not there, then things will start falling apart. And I've saw that, because I had a time where, I was trying to do more industry-related stuff, and I would be in studios all the time, and you just start to see relationships break down. And at the end of the day, money, placements, all that stuff is great. But at the end of the day, all you have is family. You mess it up with family, like, that's it. I've had a family member that, when I first started the business, I was so much into it that I didn't, spend as much time with them. And the last opportunity I got to talk to them, I didn't hit them right back because I was working on some music, and he passed on some days later. And it was like, man, I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that helped me get towards doing it this way, because if I need to see somebody, I can just go see them, and I'm still getting sales, on my flash store, whatever the case is. I don't have to worry about being in some studio in order to get paid. So, like, I really appreciate this market. Okay, this is something that I tell producers, and sometimes it might get taken negatively, but I truly believe this. I'm like, if you just got started, don't even focus on selling beats right now. And I'm just being honest, because I come from an era where there was no really selling beats online. So, kids were outside playing or whatever it is. I'm in the house on the keyboard. That's what I did. And I just did it for fun. And I think because I came from that era of, doing music for fun before the profit, you got a greater love for it. And then when you get to the point where you're able to do it for profit, the love of it is what keeps you going forward. You know what I'm saying? Because there's going to be times where you fail, you make mistakes. I don't care how successful you are, you're going to make mistakes. And, people get into this thing now and they think, okay, I've been making beats for a year, I'm just going to start selling beats online right away. It doesn't work like that. Like, you got to put time into your craft and get great at your craft before you even think about anything like that. So I would say, learn to love the craft first. Enjoy the craft just because first. Like, do that first. And then, after that, after you've been doing it for a couple years and you've advanced, then maybe you can think about the profitable side of it and start selling beats, because that's what's going to help you. Because if you go in it right away, craft is not up to par, I'm telling you, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed. So spend time.